So a lot of things have happened in the past 24 hours, especially after the loss that we took just yesterday. One of the main things that has been talked about since yesterday has been AP's press conference when he stated kind of calling out players for making business decisions.
And I think as the game went on, I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions. And we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
Now, who could those players be? We don't know for sure, but names have been thrown around. I know the Raidernation are going straight to saying, oh, he's talking about Luke Getsy, but for me, I don't think he's talking about a coach. Yes, Luke Getsy hasn't been doing a great job, but I feel like he's calling out some players and maybe some fan favorites that don't really want to hear it. One player that has been brought up over and over and over again, I've been seeing it on Twitter, I've been seeing it on social media. Pat McAfee even came out on his show and talked about it, and even Mike Renner on his podcast talked about it as well, and that player being Jack Jones. Now, I know a lot of fans are going to be like, yo, what are you talking about? Yo, it can't be. Jack Jones is one of our best players out there. But as far as making business decisions is, you know, taking plays off and not really giving your 100% on every single down. And there were some clips going around of Jack Jones taking plays off. And I'm just going to play the Pat McAfee clip of him explaining what he's seen.
So that's never good whenever you're head coach. And obviously Antonio Pierce, who's a former player and the type of player he was, is going to speak differently than most head coaches whenever they're at a press conference. But we will let you know, within a locker room, anytime somebody calls out somebody's business decision being made and it doesn't work out good, not good. Sure. Like, that is a very slanderous thing to say to somebody. Oh, we're making business decisions out here. That's a big punch right to the balls. I mean, that is a massive shot. So then obviously you think to yourself, well, what were the plays that he's talking about? The internet found it.
Oh, yeah.
The internet found it. There was a situation in the fourth quarter with Jack Jones. And I believe the tweet that I saw that had a lot of people saw this particular clip. When said something about, like, why would Bill Belichick cut this guy or whatever? And then here it is, fourth quarter, 33-15. Obviously, you're down 7-0-8, and that's what a business decision looks like. Okay, that's what a business decision looks like. Now, did he think that that tackle was being made and he didn't have to help and he saves himself a potential injury? Certainly. But what he's doing there is making a decision that is good for his business as opposed to the team's business in shooting his hip in there.
And like I said before, Pat McAfee wasn't the only person that brought this up. Mike Renner brought it up on his podcast as well.
You had a clip that was Devontae sitting on the bench as the game went to halftime and not running it with the team right away. I saw, though, on tape, and this shouldn't be too surprising to anyone who is a Patriots fan, Jack Jones, cornerback. If we're talking business decisions, he had a tackle attempt on Chuba Hubbard where he was content to not tackle Chuba Hubbard one-on-one, and the ball bounced outside in the fourth quarter. And then even later than that, he actually didn't even touch it. He was involved in the play and backed away. Obviously had some decision-making issues in his past. They've continued here after that. And I'm like, you know, who could have, it's Jack Jones. It 100% was Jack Jones.
Now, after watching that, I can kind of see where they're coming from. I don't want to say that it's actually Jack Jones, but I can see it being him. You know, just last year, Marcus Peters was on this team, a guy that a lot of Raider Nation loved and wanted to bring over here to the Raider Nation for the longest time. But we quickly found out that he wasn't giving his 100% out there on every single down. And you know, AP is a guy that if you're going to be on the field, you better give your 100%. And after seeing those plays, I can kind of see where they're coming from. Of course, this isn't set in stone, but I do hope if it is somebody like Jack Jones that AP addresses it and we don't have to worry about it moving forward. It just kind of sucks to see those type of plays. I know it was kind of late in the game and we were already getting our asses whooped at that time, and a lot of things can go into those videos. You know, maybe he thought the other player was going to make the tackle and he just didn't want to go in there and try to make a dumb decision or whatnot. But everything's all for speculation. I don't think he was even the only player that was doing that. You know, a lot of our defensive players do that where they take plays off and stuff like that. You don't want to see it, but it happens. You know, we've seen Nate Hobbs do that a couple times, even Marcus Epps sometimes. I mean, the whole secondary was getting burnt yesterday, so I can't really blame just Jack Jones. But that's just what I've seen all over social media out there, people talking about it being Jack Jones. And if it is Jack Jones, what does that mean moving forward? Will AP actually do something? You know, will he actually like trade him away, cut him from the team, whoever it may be, whether it's him, Devontae Adams, or any other players? I wonder what the repercussions are going to be moving forward. I don't even think that AP's ever going to come out and say anything unless something happens and, you know, some big news come out. Oh, the Raiders made a trade. But I want to ask you guys, Raider Nation, what do you guys think about this? And what do you guys think about AP's comments calling out some of the players on the team for making business decisions? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now in some other news, AP had a presser and kind of talked about a lot of things going on, and one thing that got brought up and everybody kind of ran with it was the fact that he told the reporters that he's not ruling out a quarterback change. Obviously after the last game against the Panthers, it didn't look good at all. I mean, the whole offense, the whole defense, but one position, of course, that's going to be questioned all the time is the quarterback position, especially with the guy, a young quarterback like AOC waiting in the looms. But this is what AP had to say about the quarterback situation.
Well, I just think, you look at how the game went. We're down by 2 scores or so. Let Aiden come in and see what he could do with the offense, move it. We're just trying to look for a spark.
Could that mean anything going forward? Or is it still Gardner, still the guy?
I think we got to get with the players and just evaluate everything from yesterday first.
Now, he did kind of leave it out in the open, and I know a lot of people were kind of speculating, oh, AOC might be ready to go for week 4 against the Browns. We could possibly see AOC. I know the fans have been calling for AOC. A lot of other fans also don't like the way Gardner Minshew has been playing and whatnot, and it was a bad game. But again, this was just one game that looked bad outside of the first game, of course. But not long after that, we don't have to talk about this anymore because Ian Rappaport broke the news that the Raiders will be starting and sticking with Gardner Minshew going into week 4 matchup against the Browns. So I guess we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, I know a lot of fans are going to be mad about this because, they seen Aiden O'Connell come out at the end of the game against the Panthers, and he showed out pretty good. I think he had a solid showing, but again, it's the end of the game, garbage time points, garbage time stats. We can't really look at that and say, oh, he was way better than Gardner Minshew, especially with how this offensive line has been playing, and Gardner Minshew was getting rocked out there for the most part. It just was a bad day overall for the Raiders, and I know when we have bad days like this, the Raider Nation just wants to see a change out there, whether it's a coach, whether it's an offensive coordinator, whether it's a quarterback. They want to see some type of change, and I guess we ain't gonna change at all because Gardner Minshew is gonna go out there and be the starter. Now I don't know what it is, but I hope something changes on the offensive line because no matter who the quarterback is, if we can't keep the quarterback upright, it's gonna be a long season for us, especially if we don't give our quarterback enough time to go out there and make plays. It's gonna be a long season. On top of that, if the play calling doesn't get better, then it's gonna be a long season. We can't keep running the ball and expecting it to change. Zamir White, I'm sorry to say it, is just not that guy. I thought going into the season he was going to kind of capitalize after the last couple of games last year, but we can't just keep running the ball, trying to go up the middle or whatnot and not do anything. 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. It just kind of sucks because I feel like if we had a back like Josh Jacobs on the team, I feel like he could get those tough yardage, just to move the pile on just a little bit more. But outside of that, we'll see what the team is going to do moving forward. We'll see what type of changes is going to be made. But the quarterback position, of course, is not going to change. I guess we just got to wait and see what happens on Sunday. But Raider Nation, what are your thoughts on this news of Gardner Minshew sticking as the starting quarterback? Is it the right decision? Should the Raiders already move on from him and go with AOC? I don't know, man. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I feel like Aiden O'Connell, his time will come. Just not right now. Now it's the last bit of not so good news. Reports came out that Marcus Epps will be out for the season. Now, Epps suffered a knee injury late in Sunday's game, and it was reported today, according to Tom Pelissero, that Epps suffered a torn ACL and he will miss the remainder of the season. Now, this is a huge loss for the Raiders defense because ever since Epps has signed with the team, he's played in every single game, every single snap, and has been a big contributor to, the secondary, especially alongside of Trayvon Merrick. The Raiders already lost Malcolm Koonce for the rest of the season, and now we lose Marcus Epps. Especially, it sucks because we lost him at the end of the game when really nothing was going on. But to lose 2 key pieces on the defensive side like this at the start of the season really kind of sucks. And with him being in his final year of his contract going into free agency this upcoming offseason, we may have seen the last of Marcus Epps in the silver and black unless they want to bring him back. I know I don't want to take light of the situation, but I guess the silver lining in this whole thing is the fact that Isaiah Pola-mao will step in and become the starter for the Raiders and take over Marcus Epps' position for the remainder of the season. I'm excited to see this because this is a big opportunity for the Oos Isaiah to go out there and show himself, man. We've seen a lot of spurts last season of him being, a solid piece and a solid contributor on the defensive side of the ball and special teams as well. Every time he's on the field, he's making plays out there. So to see that he's going to get this opportunity is really exciting. He's obviously my Oos. That's my cousin right there. But I hope that he can go in there and just help the secondary and solidify this defense moving forward. I know our defense is great, and I feel like we are still a great defense. I just feel like this last game, we didn't see that at all. we had a bad game. And every year, Raider Nation, we always have that yearly trap game. We always have that game we just fuck up and we just don't look good at all. And I feel like that was this game. And hopefully we could get better moving forward. We got the Browns coming into town this weekend. And I'm hoping that we can just kind of get back on track. Being a Raiders fan, being a part of the Raider Nation, loving this team is a lot of emotions. I can never get mad at fans for having a roller coaster of emotions. You know, one week we're all happy, we're all hyped, we have our hopes high. And then another week we feel like the season is over and we got to move on, change the quarterback, change the coach and whatnot. This is just part of being a fan of the Raiders. We're going to deal with this shit every single season, and we're going to be here no matter what. That's why I try to take a little step back from going straight into, let's fire this guy, let's fire that guy after every single loss. Let's move on from Gardner Minshew. Let's move on from AP, because at the end of the day, we're just going to have to stick with it until it's time for them to move on. But I still got some hope, at least for right now, for the rest of the season. I just hope we could get back into the win column this week. With that being said, Raider Nation, what are your thoughts on all this, the news that I kind of talked about today? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys are going to be at the game this Sunday, look out for your oos, because I'll be over there. Until then, or until the next video, this is your boy Simone Raider, and your boy is Yow.